Dude, what time is it? Is that on YouTube? I mean, I guess subscribe? Yeah. Good morning, boys. When I say good morning, I've been awake for about 15-20 minutes now. Today is one of the most important days ever for this blue car right here. So we're going to be driving all the way up to LA to pick up the brand new motor for this car. Now, LA can be anywhere from an hour-and-a-half drive to a 3.5-hour drive. It is relatively early today, so let's hope that it's only like a 2-hour drive. What smells so good? Dude, that air freshener, I forgot that I put that in there, dude. That smells so freaking good. Oh my God. Okay, I lied. I needed to go get a phone charger, so we're back in the house. This time we're just gonna leave through the front door. And this is the worst part about leaving, is I'm gonna leave this dude behind me. Now real quick, as we wait for this Mustang to go all the way up in the hoist, I just want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor of this video, which is www.carparts.com, but more on that later. Alrighty, so we got the motor right here, but it's a little bit too heavy for me to load, so we're going to be waiting for another content creator to slide through.
More back here than we need to go.
I think this is pretty good. So I just took off my motor mount right here so that way the seat can be folded up above a nice tarp, and hopefully this doesn't come flying out Final Destination and kill someone in the drive home. Now the biggest shout out to the homie for coming down and actually helping us lock it all up. He's most likely going to be the guy that I first helped put this all back in. So I'm back from the store, and we just went and picked up an engine hoist and then an engine stand. Now, obviously, these things need to be built, and really, I don't think too many people are going to want to see this, so we should probably just skip through it. God damn it. Okay, so I was hoping I could just skip this, but no. So how are we going to open this? Ideas. Alrighty, and just like that, we have everything that we need to actually build the engine hoist, and oh my God, that was a lot more work than I expected. This stuff is insanely freaking heavy, dude. And one weird thing that I'm having a huge problem with while I'm trying to film these YouTube videos is this is only like my first or second YouTube video ever, and like, I talk so fast for TikTok. Like, when I try to film YouTube videos, like, I need to remind myself to slow down. And alrighty, just like that, the engine hoist is completely built. And this thing is freaking massive, dude. Honestly, I had no idea that an engine hoist would be this big. But granted, this is my first time, like, doing all of this. Now, I also picked up a dirt cheap engine stand just so that we can actually put the motor in our stand as we build it instead of having to build it on my workbench. Now, something that I really want to figure out is what all came with the motor. It came with an entire box of parts that the guy wasn't even going to include, and I don't actually know what's inside of them. So let's lay them down right there. If you saw what this is from on my Snapchat, what's up, bro? What's up? Hey, yo. I love you. So let's take those boxes, put them over there, and see what exactly we got with my motor. Alrighty, so my hands are a little bit dirty from pulling everything out of the box, but that is a lot of stuff to come with the motor for free. First off, we have the JDM intake right here. Now, the JDM intake, because just this intake, somebody tried to buy for 450 bucks. That's insane, bro. I could make so much money off of this, but I'm not intelligent, so that's what we're going to be doing. So, this guy right here is the JDM 1.6 intake. It's completely different than the USDM one. It's all smooth. You can run a bigger throttle body, and these have more power. Next up, we have wires and the distributor. Next up, we're going to come over to here, and we got headers. Now, these must be the JDM headers, because they're completely different than the USDM ones. This is the USDM headers, this is the JDM headers. Now, as you can see, it's the same basic idea, but it is completely different. Look at that exit port, one circle. Look at this exit port, two circles. These pipes are bigger. Everything else about it is just bigger. These are individual pipes. Actually, let's see if my O2 bung even fits in here. I'm gonna pray to God. Imagine this doesn't fit. What do I do if this doesn't fit? Uh-oh. Is it not fitting? Oh, no. Oh. Okay. I think it was just the pressure of having the camera film. Because the second I turn off the camera, I can screw this guy in there perfectly. And it does screw in. I must have just been screwing it weirdly. So, thank freaking God my O2 fits in there. Otherwise, you know what? Do I want to leave that in there? I don't know. No, we'll just put this back in the old headers. Yeah, see, it's a problem with filming. I can't get down in. I swear, dude, whenever I film, I just can't get it up. Alrighty, so next up, we have just some various lines. All of that's for AC. That's my coolant reservoir. I think this had a coolant reroute kit. I don't know. 2 motor mounts. AC condenser, I think, and pump. I think that's more AC. JDM alternator. I think that's power steering. Yeah, that's power steering, because that's 100% AC. So that's power steering. And then we have more pulleys right here. We have a brace. Every Miata enthusiast knows you take off this brace so you can do an easier oil change. Alrighty, next up we have more lines. We have some covers, gaskets, a box full of spark plugs, extra wires, a bunch of sensors, a rod knock sensor, camshaft position sensor, crankshaft position sensor. Really weird the motor has a camshaft and a crankshaft position sensor, but whatever. A bunch of other things like that, and 42 different plugs and wires to go to the 42 different wires that are on this wiring harness. God, that's going to be a pain to wire. And then lastly, we also have heat shield for the headers, and then 2 things of belch. So all in all, for the price that I paid for this motor, but still nobody knows, and I don't know if I'm ever going to tell you guys, all of this was literally like a bank robbery. That is such an insane steal. Now, with that being said, the next episode, we're going to have to do some maintenance to the motor. In case you don't know, this motor needs a brand new head gasket, and that's the reason it was so cheap. Hopefully. I'm really hoping I didn't get lied to and it has rod knock. So before we put all of these parts in the motor, we should probably clean it. So I have everything all masked off, and let me just grab a screwdriver and show you how freaking filthy this is. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually going to show up in camera, but here, hold on. Alrighty, so now that we're actually in here, let's find a place that has a crazy amount of grease in it, and let me just start scraping it off for you guys. Okay, lastly, we're going to come over to this side, and I'm going to just get you a quick little example of really how disgustingly thick this is. Ew, God, that's utterly disgusting. Here, right here, you ready? You ready? Dude. And next up, you just let everything sit in a bunch of degreaser, and then you just wait a bunch of minutes. And I see the mailman. Oh. Okay, well, that's really disappointing. He didn't stop at our house. I guess we have enough packages already, but still, it's sad. And just like that, it is completely clean. Now, granted, this is not as clean as I initially wanted to get it. As you can tell, there is a huge difference. And oh my God. Now, granted, this is not as clean as I wanted to get it because I was using a cheap part stir degreaser, my front yard hose, and a couple of toothbrushes and a wire whistle brush. I don't know what the hell it's called, but still, it's not a SEMA build quality of clean, but it is clean enough where we can handle it without making our hands look like this, and we can tell if there's going to be any new oil leaks. Now, I think that this right here is just damage on front of the aluminum. If I took enough time with sandpaper, I'm sure I could sand down the entire top layer and make it look nice, shiny, and new, but I'm not going to do that because that's pointless, because nobody's going to see that, and most likely we're going to replace this for a full billet aluminum one at some point. Now, with that being said, this does at least help us find out any new oil leaks since I cleaned all of this. If we have any oil in the entire oil pan, that means that there's some problem with the oil pan or some problem with the car, which is really going to help when we boost this motor, and it's really going to help when we do the motor swap. Now, everything else up here, which is all black, the black is not gunk, it's just the color of the motor. I didn't actually know these were painted black, which is really nice because now we can handle the motor without getting our hands all greasy, and it just feels like metal instead of like oil. Now, real quick, I'm going to take off all of the masking on this, and I did not just put a bag on top. I actually filled every single orifice with paper towels and tape over it because I'm kind of paranoid. When y'all both reach the pinnacle, things start to get physical. What make it worse, the motherfucker live with you, talking what you didn't, doing what they did for you. You just praying for a miracle because they been with you through the good and the bad times, made it pivotal. All them feelings that you hold inside, it will hinder you, so let it go. What you didn't do and what they did for you. You just praying for a miracle, cause they been with you. And finally, we have all of the masking off of it. And, that's a lot of masking. Yeah, I'm definitely the main reason the world is polluted. But, you know, those turtles' lives you don't really need to think about or consider. So, now that the entire motor is unmasked and clean to tuts, I still cannot get over how clean we got this oil pan. This thing literally feels like metal again. That is absolutely insane. Next up, I do want to take this guy, sand it down, and polish it, but we'll do that in a completely separate time because that's not important. What is important is getting all of this trash out of the way and giving it to the local turtles down at my ocean. No, I'm joking. I'm just going to put it in trash. Although, seriously, the next step is I'm going to take some compressed air and spray it in every single little crevice in this motor just to make sure all water is out. And then I'm just going to let it sit on the side for, well, maybe a day, 48 hours. This rust there was already there. I'm trying to document any of the rust. Already there. That's not rust, that's gasket maker. Already there. All of these bolts are already rusty. Yeah, I think that's everything. So now that the motor is shiny and clean and we can work on it without getting our hands too greasy, and we know all of the parts that came with the motor, next up we got to do the head gasket job, which is going to be in the next video, and then we can finally assemble the motor. Now, with that being said, I do just want to give a huge shout out to carparts.com. Honestly, carparts.com really is the smartest way to shop for your automotive needs. Whether that's a hood, bumper, fender, headlight, taillights, or even gaskets and motor parts, carparts.com is going to have you covered. Pretty much any car and almost any part. Oh hey, I didn't see you there. Carparts.com also has this really awesome program where you can scroll down at the bottom, there's a little button right there, and they can get you free quotes for professional installation and professional mechanics in your zip code. So with that being said, this video is effectively over. So if you want to hit that subscribe button down below and also the like button while you're down there, those two things sound really stupid to do, but they seriously help out me and the algorithm to get more of these videos out for you guys. Now, it's also 100% free to subscribe and hit that like button. So while you're down there, it really would mean the world to me. Anyway, here's my Instagram right there if you want to go follow it. Peace out. I love you. God, I'm out of breath. That was the hardest to do. Can we roll some bloopers?